Don't remember what movie we saw at that drive-in in my first car. It's been too many years, yeah, but I remember my first beer. For most of us, the details turn to dust, but even with that buzz, I can see it crystal clear. Yeah, I remember my first beer. You don't learn that for a few more years. Hey, after you've had your first beer. For most of us, the details turn to dust. But even with that buzz, I can see it crystal clear. Yeah, I remember my first beer. Son, don't tell your mother, we're both gonna get in trouble. He cracked that can wide open, it was music to my ears. Yeah, I remember my first beer. Yeah, I remember my first beer.
ValleyRadio.net, Scotty Alexander, my first beer. One of my favorite, I think that's the one that started it all, our friendship. And with me on the phone, the one and only, the incomparable, Scotty Alexander.
Wow, man. Thank you for that. The $20 for you next time I see you.
No, I just want another one of them giant beers you brought me the first time we met.
Oh, my gosh. Hey, that's classic now. That song is classic. I appreciate you in the very beginning, one of the first people that broke us, and I appreciate it, man. How are you?
I'm great, man. It is good to talk to you. I saw you very briefly at the TIRC Awards in New Braunfels here recently, but you did your show, and I guess you guys had a jet, but that was a pretty cool event. And, man, you guys, dude, the Scotty Alexander Band just kicked all kinds of A. Awesome show.
Thank you, man. It was really a fun show, such a great venue, and I just appreciated being asked to go out there and play it. Of course, Mark is great to us as well, and it was nice to catch up with some friends out there during the show.
Now, are you based in New Braunfels these days, or where are you at?
Oh, in the last couple of years, I've lived in Wimberley.
Okay.
We put out a statement a while back that I was in Bandera, and we do have a place over there, but I'm never there. We've just got a shop over on the Bandera side, and it's just of course, most anybody's touring work has to do something with Houston, Dallas, and San Antonio, and Austin. So, we just rarely make it over that far west.
Well, man, it was good to see you live, and I'm looking forward to catching up with you in person again. So I'm assuming you're going to be at the TCMA Awards maybe in November?
We sure are, yeah. I'm nominated for Fiddle Player of the Year this time around. So excited to go up there and see everybody again. And really, I mean, that award show especially it really is a chance for all of us touring guys who know each other or see each other on social media. It's like recess for a bunch of fourth graders. Like, we just run around and take pictures and hug on each other and how you doing, and they're really fun. I enjoy those.
Who do you like catching up with the very most whenever you go to those big kind of gala events where it's more like a reunion?
Man, I have so many picker friends. I have so many picker friends that are out on the road right now. David Adam Burns and I have hit it off throughout the years and had a great time together. I always look forward to seeing him. And session players or road guys and stuff. Jason Lerma with Krager's Camps, a dear friend of ours, and of course John Stacy with Fowler, and all of those guys. We just have a hoot together, and then usually I end up taking a lot of crap and a lot of heat because of my TikTok series, and then and I let them beat on me for a little bit.
Hey, I was gonna say, you mentioned Kevin Fowler, his people, but I saw a recent TikTok where you're comparing the size of your buses. I thought it was hilarious. Yeah. So I'm sure those guys flick a little back at you, right, when they see you in person?
Yes, they do. They absolutely do. Yeah, the shocking value of a hit song is the difference between a Chevy Express van and a Prevost. I mean, that's the difference right there.
Well, let's talk about that real quick, man, because the TikTok thing with you is almost, and I hate this, it's not true, but I look almost as forward to your TikToks as I do your new music.
Thanks, man.
So what's the level of creativity that it takes? I'm sure both are they take a lot of inspiration. So how's TikTok and social media treating you?
Really well. I just started a series yesterday that has it kind of went semi-viral by this morning, and it's you know what ASMR is, right?
Sure.
A lot of listeners know.
Yes, redneck ASMR.
It's just, you know what I mean? It's just crazy. Like, if you'd have tried to tell my dad that, 25 years ago, he would have just looked confused and walked off. But apparently it's a thing, and so you see them all over social media. So I did my version, ASMR for rednecks, and we released it yesterday, and it's starting to blow up. So it's very much a balance, because music comes from one place and comedy comes from another, and it seems to keep my soul in some sort of balanced gyroscope where I don't lose my mind on either one. And that's the new series that's out. I've also got to go back and start another part too. If anybody has seen the Getting the Mail in Texas, that one did well.
Yes, yeah, I saw that one too. That might be one of my very favorites of yours, actually. Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, thanks, Ed.
Well, everybody find Scotty Alexander on TikTok. More importantly, find him in Hondo this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, a couple of shows at the Graff 7A Ranch. Bringing the full band out again, right?
We sure are. And this time around, they asked us to come both nights, Saturday and Sunday, 7 p.m. starts. And, of course, if you've never been out there, there's so much to do for your entire family, and one of the rare shows that we're all ages. I mean, there's kids and families and everybody there in the big barn with us. So it'll be we're doing a 2-set show as well. So there's a lot of music, family-friendly, and a lot to do out there. So hopefully if anybody out there in the Hondo area, Uvalde area, we'd love to see y'all come out.
Now, word for the wise, they're cashless now, so you got to get your tickets in advance at graff7aranch.com. They've actually been selling out. So if you want to go see Scotty and the guys, be sure and get those tickets online in advance at graff7aranch.com. Now, let's talk about you. I know we got a lot of positives to talk about, but I'm sure you're probably sick of thinking about it and talking about it. But let's talk about the $20,000 worth of gear that were stolen from you down in Houston. I know there's a kind of a fund that's going on. Is that still happening? Can our listeners still contribute to that? And give us the quick update on how that's going.
Absolutely, yeah. For our friends that don't know that story, we were playing Sawyer Park, which is the Woodlands north of Houston, and we had finished headlining that club, and we locked everything up, and we were staying at a Hilton. We had backed the trailer up against a cyclone fence. We set the alarm on the truck. There was security, and it doesn't matter. We can see they waited for the security guard to leave, and between the hours of 6 a.m. and 7 a.m., they beavered through the side of the door, stole $20,000 worth of guitar amps and Taylor guitars and Fender guitars and Gibson guitars, and I mean everything was right there, and it's gone. And that's the heartbreaking number one point. The second heartbreak in the whole thing is that the insurance didn't cover it. They wiggled out of it. They said, your contents coverage doesn't cover that, and it doesn't cover your total amount, so we'll give you a few $100 per item, and that's all they gave us. And so it left us severely short. We took to GoFundMe and all of my social media accounts, so Scotty Alexander Music on TikTok or Scotty Alexander on Instagram, Facebook, all of those bios have links to go to our GoFundMe page, and people have been helping us. get back on our feet and recover this gear that took years to put together. And we're insanely appreciative for anybody that takes the time and heads over there, because truly, I mean, obviously it's going right back into the instruments and gear that we use to go make our living. So we appreciate it.
Well, man, I know here in Uvalde we love you. You've been here to Uvalde in person. You've been on our Opera House stage, and you've really blessed us. So I'm asking our listeners to give back and bless you guys, because I can't even imagine. Now, Scotty, you are a multi-instrumentalist. I would imagine that a lot of that gear you played, and that you probably had a connection with some of those, a personal connection with some of that gear as well too. I mean, how violated? I mean, not to pick at the wound, but
no.
What a feeling, right?
Well, it's a very fair question, because it is something that, if you are an artist or a creator, or even if you're not, let's just say that you have a shotgun your father gave you or something like that, and somebody comes in and steals it. Mm-hmm. It's an emotional value that you've placed into that object because of where it's been with you, what it's done. And the one guitar especially, about 20 years ago, I had bought this Fender Telecaster, and I toured the world with it with Mr. Wayne Newton. Mm-hmm. Later on in life, I took that guitar and played on huge television shows in the Opry in Nashville and cut all my records with it. The guitar that's used on Nothing Good Happens After Midnight, My First Beer, and all my singles are that Telecaster. And honestly, it just felt like somebody took a friend from me. And I know that sounds weird, but
no, it doesn't at all. Yeah,
the emotional value to that guitar, it still hurts to this day to hear a record and know that it's somewhere out there in the world floating around, and somebody has no idea what they stole.
Right, totally oblivious.
No idea what they took.
And how hard must it be to, I guess, create or recapture the sounds that those particular instruments make? I mean, there's a reason you've held on to them and you've used them, right? I'm sure that with as a professional as a guy you are, you'll hear the difference. Even if you got the comparable instrument or even a better one, I would imagine it's still not the same, right?
That's correct. And I know that sounds silly for somebody that might not realize that a guitar is a guitar, but boy, nothing could be truer. They're very unique. You can have two Shih Tzu dogs, and just because they came out of the same litter, they're two, you know what I mean?
Right, sure, yeah.
They're going to be different, and that's exactly how instruments are, and especially on that level. And so, the one thing I am grateful for, because for years I've carried my grandfather's fiddle with me, and for years I just don't let it out of my sight. Nice. So it was with me in the hotel room. The fiddles, both my fiddles are safe, including Grandpa's fiddle, and so that's a big sigh of relief. But now we have reinforced steel, car alarms, we have air tags in everything, so no matter where in the individual guitar goes or the trailer or anything, I mean, everything's tagged. We're just doing all the deterrents we possibly can to avoid that in the future.
But the show must go on, as they say. So yes. 2 shows, Saturday and Sunday, Graff 7A Ranch in Hondo. Like I mentioned earlier, you've been doing you did a little festival show with Kevin Fowler. Any other cool high profile shows you've been doing you want to kind of get us caught up on lately? Yeah,
we just did a thing with Roger Krager and the guys over in Harper. We just did a show with Wade Bowen down in Seabrook, and dang, I love Wade. I'm such a Wade fan. Mm-hmm. And then we have, I think, our last big duo show that we have coming up. We're going to be with Corey Morrow. We were with him at Green Hall here not too long ago, and now we're going to be with him again up in Fort Worth in December. So I'm looking forward to working again with Corey. His crew, his band's fantastic and super great guy. And so that's our next few big ones coming up. And then, of course, we're gearing up for all the new music that's coming in 23.
Now, you just released a cover album, if I'm not mistaken. It's called Herb's Hat Shop. First of all, give us some information about this acoustic record and why the title Herb's Hat Shop.
So this is a project I wanted to do for a long time. It's the classic country music I grew up playing in the clubs, and it's George Strait and Garth Brooks and Colin Ray and Ricky Skaggs and just all the tunes that I really gravitated to and played. Charlie Daniels, and so we just went in with acoustic guitars, acoustic fiddle, acoustic banjos, and, my drummer on a little box, and a bass player playing an acoustic bass, and we hung some microphones in my buddy's hat shop in Blanco.
Oh,
and
okay.
it's Herb's Hat Shop, and I love that store, and I love my friends there, and so it was just an idea to use it as the studio and cut the record there. And for the most part, just about everything came out of there. We had some other touch-ups that we had done to that record, because I'm a nutty perfectionist OCD when it comes to records, but we did most of it there, and so that's why it has the name Herb's Hat Shop, and you'll see the three of us that worked on that record. That's the album cover. We're standing there in front of the hat shop in Blanco, so it's really a fun project, and for people that love the cover tunes and the classic stuff, please go look it up on iTunes, Herb's Hat Shop.
Very good. Now, I've seen it on iTunes. Is there any other way to get it? Are you guys doing any pressings of any way, or is it just pretty much a digital release?
It's a digital release for right now. We may end up doing some CDs and some prints that we'll sell not only online but at Herb's Hat Shop, but that'd be into next year probably before we get to that.
Again, we got Scotty Alexander on the phone. He's performing with the band. A couple of shows this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, Graff 7A Ranch in Hondo. It's Halloween weekend, so Scotty, you're going to be here for Halloween, for in this area for most of the weekend, but got any family plans as we head into Halloween, then Thanksgiving and Christmas? What's the Scotty Alexander family, and I know you got a beautiful family, what are you guys looking forward to this holiday season?
Oh, thank you, brother. We really are. There's a bunch of us, the Texas family, me and my daughter, our family and everything else. I think we're going to spend at least one of those, if not both, probably out visiting a bunch of my wife's family on the West Coast. At that point, we're just going to shut it down and get it off the road and be together, because the hardest part, really, of this job, as well as the late nights, is just you've got to commit to the travel every week. So this will be the first time that a bunch of us, family-wise, have been in a routine every single day to be with each other, and we look forward to that. I mean, that's just really special.
What are some of the staples of the Scotty Alexander family, for instance, Thanksgiving meal and maybe the Christmas morning? Give us a little window into what that family experience is like.
Oh, man, I love that question. The reason we go out is there's a bunch of extended family on the West Coast, and one thing that we do religiously every year is this massive holding hands circle before we eat. And for some reason they will dub me in order to say the prayer. And I will always say the prayer holding everyone's hand, and for some reason I'll say something about it that's, life and death, and our time is so short. And every single year, either my mother-in-law or my brother-in-law or somebody will say amen, and they'll look at me and go, thanks for bringing us down. And they make fun of me for it. We have a great laugh. That's definitely our Thanksgiving tradition. And then our Christmas tradition, some people do the one present on Christmas Eve, or, when I was a kid, my parents opened everything up on Christmas Eve or whatever. But we're really a Christmas morning family, and I think that's quite the group. I think a lot of people listening will go, well, yeah, you're either kind of one or the other. We're definitely the Christmas morning family in the pajamas, and then a huge breakfast afterwards. So that's our routine. I hope everybody gets a chance to have that memory with their family this year too.
Well, man, it looks like you're hitting it on all cylinders as we approach it, because it's going to be kind of like a little bit of time off, a little bit of a decompressing. But just looking at your calendar and your website and your social medias, you're just hitting it hard until you get that break for the family. So we're excited and lucky to have you coming to town this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Well, Hondo, smack dab between San Antonio and Uvalde. So we love making the trip out to the big pumpkin patch and the hayride and corn maze. And Scotty Alexander Band performing. So let's go ahead and get the new record on, man. Nothing Good Happens After Midnight. Give us a little bit of a backstory on the new single, and we'll get it on and get ready for your show, man.
Oh, I appreciate it, Robert. You're the best. Yeah, nothing good happens after midnight is exactly what my mother said when I came in late and not behaving one night, and she waited till the next morning to just lay into me, and I never forgot it. And I'm sure I've told my kids, and maybe people out there know that their mother or father told them the same thing. you're either fighting or loving on somebody you shouldn't. Nothing good happens after midnight.
Well, very good. Let's get the song on. I want to remind everybody to make a donation to the Big Fund. So find Scotty Alexander's website, any social media, find that link to the GoFundMe and get them some gear back. Check out the new acoustic cover album, Herb's Hat Shop, also on the website. Give us the website one more time and we'll get the song on.
ScottyAlexander.com. Thank you so much, my friend. Always a pleasure to talk to you.
All right, man. We'll see you very soon in person. Scotty Alexander, nothing good happens after midnight. And this is UValdyRadio.net. Thank you, sir. God bless.
God bless.
I was a long-haired teenager, a redneck hellraiser, sneaking out to see what trouble I could find. Maybe get a girl or two to sneak on out and break the rules, being bad, so we could have a good time. But in the morning, Mama knew what I had been up to. She said nothing good happens after midnight. Boy, get that through your head. You're either fighting or loving on somebody that you shouldn't when you should be sleeping in your bed. Oh, it turns out now Mama was right. Yeah, nothing good happens after midnight. It took a couple broken hearts before I finally got some smarts, started living the words she said. Plus I'm running with the cops before the quarter finally dropped, and I got it through my thick head. Boy, you better listen to your mama before you wind up dead. She said nothing good happens after midnight. Boy, get that through your head. Don't be the fighting or loving on somebody that you shouldn't when you should be sleeping in your bed. Oh, it turns out my mama was right. Yeah, nothing good happens after midnight. She said nothing good happens after midnight. Boy, get that through your head. You're either fighting or loving on somebody that you shouldn't when you should be sleeping in your bed. Oh, it turns out my mama was right. Yeah, nothing good happens after midnight.